Hey guys, so we're going to keep practicing those Punnett squares. So the first Punnett square that we're going to do today is for hitchhiker's thumb. And so a hitchhiker's thumb is an autosomal recessive trait. So if we hear autosomal, remember that means it's non-sex linked. So mom and dad have identical copies of that gene. And when we hear recessive, that means that we're going to have two little alleles. So both mom and dad had to give a little allele or a recessive allele. So because it's thumb, I'm going to go with little t, make my life easier. And then it says the genotype for a hitchhiker's thumb has to look like this. A person without a hitchhiker's thumb would look like this or would look like this. So they're either going to be what we call homozygous dominant or they're going to be what we call heterozygous. Now it says construct a Punnett square to determine the probability of hitchhiker's thumb or no hitchhiker's thumb in the children of a heterozygous father heterozygous father and a homozygous recessive mother. I'm going to put mom for space reasons. Okay, so heterozygous tells us that we have two different alleles, or we have two different copies. So he's going to look like big T, little t. If we have a heterozygous or a homozygous recessive mom, homozygous means same. Recessive again is going to be those little alleles. So they're going to look like this. So let's construct our Punnett square. We're going to put mom at the top. We're going to put dad on the side. Like this. So now we have big T, little t, little t, little t, big T, little t, little t, little t. All right, if they have hitchhiker's thumb, they're going to look like this. So there's a 50% chance that they're going to have a hitchhiker's thumb. Now, if they have this, that big T, little t, they're heterozygous, but that means that they don't have it. So sometimes these genetic traits or these phenotypes, again, can be dominant or they can be recessive, but you have to look at the Punnett square first to figure that out. All right, let's do another one. This one's going to be slightly different. We're going to do freckles. And freckles, ooh, that looks terrible. Let me rewrite that. Freckles are what we call autosomal dominant. All right, so now if you have freckles, you either look like this or you look like this. Autosomal tells us that it's not sex linked, and dominant tells us that we have that big allele. Now, what happens with dominant traits is for this person here, both parents gave them that copy of that dominant trait. Over here, what happened is one parent gave the dominant trait, one parent gave that recessive trait, but the dominant is overpowering. It dominates or masks that recessive trait. So now, if you don't have freckles, this is what you're going to look like. Little f, little f. You would be considered recessive or have the recessive trait, and you don't have freckles. So now we're going to conduct a Punnett square. So construct a Punnett square where the father is heterozygous. So what that means is he looks like this. Again, if you hear the term heterozygous, hetero means different. So he has one big allele, one small allele, one dominant allele, one recessive. And mother is going to be homozygous recessive for freckles. So she looks like this. So dad has freckles, mom doesn't have freckles. And now we're going to figure out what the probability is that the child's going to have freckles. So we're going to put mom at the top. We're going to put dad on the side. Now this child, again, if potentially this ended up being their genotype, they would be heterozygous, they'd have freckles. Big F, little f for the next, they would have freckles. Little f, nope, they don't have freckles. Little f, no, they don't have freckles. So for the probability, every time mom and dad reproduce, there's a 50-50 shot. So in this circumstance here, again, every time mom and dad have a baby, it's not 2 of the 4 times they have the baby. Every single time they have a baby, there's a 50-50 shot that that child is going to have freckles. I hope this makes a little bit more sense, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks a lot. Bye.